Oops. See, I don't have it. I didn't have everything prepped right because it was such a last minute thing. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hairyman Late Night. So, how's everybody doing? I don't think we've got a full house in yet tonight. Oh, Mr. Lee. Welcome, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. And I saw Mogi on here. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody on. And of course, I've got my buddy, Brent. Hi, Brent.
What's up, guys? Hello, Nikki.
Thanks for coming on and chit-chatting tonight. We'll see.
Well, you're paying me, so. Oh, sorry. My bad.
And we have my wonderful friend, Thomas Steenberg. Welcome, Mr. Thomas.
Nikki, you told me you couldn't afford to pay me. Now you're paying him?
Oh, God, see what you started now?
I know. It was my mistake. I forgot.
Everything's going so good. And my next guest has never been seen by my Hairyman folk. And I'd like to introduce my lovely, lovely sister, Suzanne O'Brien.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hello, Suzanne. Is it Susie or Suzanne?
Susie. My friends call me Susie.
Roger that, dear.
Susie Q.
I'll be expecting some money in my Cash App.
Oh, see? I knew that was going to come too. Oh, Lord. So we're having a late night because, Jeff canceled his show for the evening and there was an open spot, and I'm trying to really get out there and do more shows and be with the Susie sister. Yeah, she's my real sister.
Is Susie into the Sasquatch mystery as well?
Yeah, she is. She's pretty cryptid. A lot. You like a little bit of everything, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Mostly paranormal. She's kind of on the paranormal side, but she's always been interested too. I mean, you can talk for yourself. I'm not gonna.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I believe in lots of stuff.
Yes, you do.
Such as.
Oh, God. Now the chat wants to get paid.
Oh, boy. This is going to be an expensive show, guys.
Yeah.
Let's make it worth it.
So, thanks for coming tonight, and I will see you. Oh, man. Well, that's good. That's good. It's all good. Go ahead, Suze. Tell them what you believe in. Tell them.
Oh, what I believe in? Oh, gosh. I believe in a lot of things. I believe in Bigfoot is real. I believe that the paranormal is real. I believe that we can contact. We all have the abilities to communicate with those who have crossed over. We just have to tune into that. I believe that we never die. We all have eternal life. We just change into, we never die. We just transform. So I have a little bit of different view on Sasquatch than my sister, but she's pretty accepting of me. And that's cool. We accept each other. But I believe that Sasquatch is an interdimensional being. But let me hear it, guys. Give it to me.
No, that's cool. I mean, we really don't even know
that she was going to say.
Cartman, what the hell are you talking about?
I'm very open. What was that, Cartman?
Yeah. I put that on just for you.
You killed Kenny.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I was almost woo once when I first got into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What swayed you from the woo? It's not woo. It's true. Okay, then now what?
It's mainly the person, Matt Johnson. This dude who went crazy. It's like, wow, he gives Wu the bad name.
Oh, one of those.
He did. He read Dr. Matt Johnson, and he got to be so that his group of followers became even cult like, and he made them believe that Bigfoot was coming into his world and healing him, like
Yeah.
physically.
That came later. When he
Yes.
started out, he basically, I got the impression at the same time that he started, when he had his so-called encounter with his family, who never saw anything, by the way.
It was cloaked.
Yeah. He claimed that he had that encounter. At the same time, that was when all those commune books were coming out by that psychiatrist who wanted to interview victims of alien abductions and things like that. And I think Matthew Johnson was trying to set himself up like that, to talk to like a psychiatrist for Sasquatch witnesses. And no, to me, the Sasquatch mystery is strictly a zoological mystery. Are we dealing with an unclassified species of higher primate in North America? But that doesn't mean that I don't think the paranormal does exist. I just don't think there's any connection between the two. I remember even before when I was really young and in high school, before I ever got involved in the Sasquatch mystery, me and a bunch of my weird friends, like everyone used to call us, would go around investigating so-called haunted houses in the Toronto, Ontario region. I was at the Mackenzie House and the old City Hall and all those places. And my only questions about ghosts is not do they exist, it's what they are. And so many of the encounters seem to be almost like people are looking at movie images, and the specters are completely oblivious to their presence. And it's almost like you're looking at an event that occurred there, and when circumstances are absolutely right, it replays. You know, and I kind of wonder about these great men who were alive who did so much to try to answer the question, is there life after death? Why no one has heard from them after they died. Harry Houdini, Harry Price, and of course the great author Hans Hosler, who wrote over 100 books on hauntings and haunted houses. I read a number of them back in the 70s myself. He's been gone for 10 years now, and so far as I know, no one's heard from him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of accounts of that residual haunting, that playback mode.
Yeah. And again, I asked some people, like, does inanimate objects have spirits? Because why are these specters always seen in the clothing of their time? Why aren't they naked?
Oh. Well.
Why aren't we seeing specters of T-Rex roaming all over the place?
Ooh, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
But it's energy. The energy gets printed. Okay, so everything's energy, even like the streets or the houses, and the energy, it gets imprinted in those objects, and that's what makes those residual hauntings that look like they're replaying things. I used to be really into that part of the paranormal, but now I'm more on the spiritual side.
So, Susie, you're saying there's more than one different type of haunting?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds. Definitely. Oh, so many. And it's really amazing. Well, to do all that research, and then you start to understand it and become part of it. It's really, really, really cool realization for me, because I'm a believer. And so, yeah, I think it's very interesting. There's so many things, different aspects, different ways that spirit can come across. And I don't think that those residual ones that replay the same thing over and over again, I kind of don't think that is like a being. I think that's just a
replay of an event.
It's kind of like I don't know what you would call it, just a little scene that's happening there. It's stuck there in the house, or like brick or wood. Those kinds of things absorb those kinds of energy, because everything is energy. So it just kind of transforms, just kind of soaks into those. And I don't even watch the ghost shows anymore. I used to watch all of them and I don't even do that anymore, because it's kind of different for me now. But I have seen somebody channel Harry Houdini. It was pretty cool. It's on, I think there's on YouTube too. You should check it out. It's pretty cool.
According to his late wife, she never heard from him. And they had a special code, and they had an agreement. If it was any way it was possible to come back and prove that there was life after death, Harry told her, he would do it. And she tried many times for many years after he died, and she said she never heard word boo from him. Now, some unscrupulous people trying to sell books after she died and could no longer contradict them said she had. But she never did. She never heard word boo from him. And they had a special code that they used to use in his acts when he was alive that only they knew. And she said, nope, we tried many times, many a seance with many different mediums and so-called professional mediums. And she said, we never heard word boo from him. Yeah.
Maybe
and you think if anyone would come back, it would be him. or the late Harry Price. You know, England, the guy who wrote the book on the Boyley Rectory in England. You know, I mean, he spent his whole life trying to prove the life after death. No one heard from him. And of course, Hans Hosler, who wrote over 100 books. They're great books on the history of hauntings and haunted houses all over North America and England. He wrote well over 100 books. He's been gone. As far as I know, no one's ever heard from him.
I think that sometimes when somebody passes over, if they're done with that aspect of them, that life that they lived, and they don't want to, they won't. But
well, I have spent my life trying to prove the existence of the Sasquatch. If there was any possibility after I died to come back and let you all know I was right, I'd do it.
Well, let's make a keyword. Let's make a secret password so maybe we can
contact you later.
I actually gave me and my mom did that, and she actually did. So I mean, it depends, you know.
Yeah, but Susie, I'm not saying there's no such thing as a paranormal or life after death, because I remember some strange things happening in my childhood in a place we used to live where I grew up too that I can't explain away. It was weird, man. Yeah. Really weird. I remember early 80s when I first was in the Calgary region of Alberta. They got a place there called Heritage Park, where half the buildings are reported to be haunted and all have their different ghost stories and stuff. And the park's official policy was whenever a story came out of the paper about something being seen in the Prince house or something like that, was deny, 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 deny. You know, deny, deny, deny. And I remember talking to the staff. They had staff there in period costumes talking about, you know, the architecture and the history of houses. And someone would bring up the ghost and go, no, there's no such thing. It never happened. Never happened. Never. It was deny, 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 deny. And I like to think I had something to do with it, because now they actually give Halloween tours and stuff like that and explain the haunted history. They even published a little book. And I remember back then I actually said to them, why you didn't deny it? You should push it. You know, you stand in front of the Prince house and you listen to people talking amongst themselves. Are they talking about the Victorian architecture? Are they talking about the Victorian history? No, they're talking about ghosts.
Yeah.
So why deny? Why not make it part of it? You know, and I think they do now, because they published a little book. Yeah.
It was taboo. It was kind of taboo.
Yeah.
And like, you know, social constructs don't want you to talk about that kind of stuff, because then you might be crazy.
Well, there are a lot of people in this that are crazy. There's no doubt about that. There are a lot of people in the Sasquatch field that are absolute inmates running the asylum, for lack of a better word. There's no doubt in my mind there. Yeah. But again, it doesn't mean that there isn't other explanations. I remember that movie. The guy did a great line in that movie, The Haunting, from 1963. Do you remember that movie?
Who starred in that?
Yeah, Vincent Price.
Claire Bloom and this is 1963, so it's a long time ago. It was black and white, but it's the best ghost story movie I ever saw. The guy who played the professor, who was investigating, he said we should not call it paranormal, we should call it prenormal, something we don't have an explanation for now, but we probably will someday. You know. That was very, very good.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I highly recommend that movie if you just want to watch a good ghost story. And it's called
Yeah.
The Haunting, based on The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love those black and white. Is it black and white?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna catch.
Now, I
that.
heard they had colorized it, but as far as I know, originally it was a black and white movie. Not the remake from 1995 with Guillaume Nielsen in it. That was terrible.
Oh,
The
I
remake-
think that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that one is awful. The original, 1963. Yeah. Write that down, you guys. 1963. If it's a 1995, it's garbage. Don't watch that one. Because they go overboard with the CGI.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. Like her bedroom tries to eat her, and she still doesn't believe in ghosts.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that the one where they have the big fireplace and the guy's in there and somebody
Yeah.
takes them out? Yeah.
Yeah. That's remake. That's awful. The original was more like a classic ghost haunted house story.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nothing like the originals.
No.
So why do you guys think? How come that we don't find any Bigfoot? How come we don't find them? What do you
Well,
think?
Several explanations there. One possibility is that they're so rare, and I do tend to go along with the Lake Grover Krantz, there may be one for every 100 bears in any given area. 2, we haven't been lucky. Or 3, it's all myth and mythology, and there's nothing there to find.
That's
You think maybe
Don't choke on your Cheeto there.
it's my sour Mike and Ike's.
Oh.
See, a researcher to me is somebody who has to be able to admit in the end that it could turn out that they were wrong. I don't personally believe it, but it could turn out in the end that the Sasquatch may be indeed nothing but a great piece of North American mythology and folklore.
Or they might go through portals. We don't know yet.
I won't buy that one yet.
We don't know.
No, I'm strictly zoological. I don't accept the paranormal connection to the Sasquatch at all. Yeah.
So
That's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, and I could be wrong,
that's
if
what I
I'm
believe.
wrong, yeah, that I could be wrong. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. That's why I always say 90% in case I'm wrong.
Well, what do you guys think about Bigfoot being a ghost, like being able to transform into a ghost like a human does, or like the other branches of Homo and whichever ones they are? I don't know.
I don't think they die. I don't think that Bigfoot's not. Well, maybe they do die. I don't know. I've never thought about that, but I don't see why not. I mean, I think they just go to another dimension. Like, like we go to heaven. They go that heaven is another dimension.
Yeah, but Susie, isn't that an endless merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Trying
so
to explain a mystery by invoking another mystery and then topping it up with a
I
third.
love that.
It's like the TV show Lost.
I live for that. I live for those kind of merry-go-rounds. But for a while, I believe the same thing that you did up until like 2 years ago. Well, I guess it's been like 6 years now. Whew. But that's what I believe too. I believed it was just it was another species.
Where did we lose you, Susie?
Lost me when I had a spiritual awakening and I changed into a whole different person. But I'm still cool. I'm even better. And then I thought that maybe they buried their dead. They were just another animal that nobody knew about yet, and that they buried their dead. That's why we can't find them. And where it lost me was.
Well, there's nothing paranormal about burying your dead.
No, not at all. Where did I figure that? I just figured. Oh, I know. When I started listening to David what is it? Pilates? How do you say his name?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Pilates.
411 thing. And like how that little boy.
The second biggest pusher, the massacre.
Oh no!
The what little boy?
That little boy that got taken away by the Bigfoot, and then like brought back,
Yeah, Pilates.
dropped back off with the family or whatever, and he was like unharmed and all those things. The ones that have seen them, I believe them. I believe they've seen them. All those, I love those. I love hearing about those encounters. And oh yeah, I ask everybody if I on a random I ask everybody if they've ever had an encounter with Bigfoot or the paranormal, and I have met a few people that have had encounters with a Sasquatch, because you know, I live in Arizona, and I've been around a lot of forests, and so I give it an ask, and I have run into a few people.
What are your thoughts about orbs?
Orbs?
Yeah.
Orbs are okay. So everybody has an electromagnetic field that surrounds them. Do you believe that? Do you guys, are you with me there?
Mm-hmm.
So when you take a picture, it captures that, and it captures them in a form of orbs. And sometimes they're not round. Sometimes you can see lots of things in pictures. Some people can see spirits in real time, and I believe that. Some people can hear them. Some people, there's lots. There's a lot of things that people can do, and I believe people are amazing. Human beings are amazing, and we don't even know half of the abilities that we have, is what I believe.
Well, our brain can't even process all the information that's being sent to us in the universe at a given moment in time. Our brains don't have the ability to fully process all that information. So we are leaving out a lot of information that we can't perceive because we don't have the sensory apparatuses to help, process it for our brain so we can perceive it. And we can only perceive a very small fraction of what's real.
Can we not perceive it, or have we been programmed to believe that we cannot perceive it?
Well, some might say both, but I don't think that we have like the evolution ability. But maybe if you open up the third eye, or better in tune with nature, maybe you can get closer to it.
Mm-hmm. It's all about vibrations. So energy vibrates. Everybody vibrates. So like if you want to see a Sasquatch, I believe you have to be vibrating at the same level as them. Like
you gotta have like
you can't perceive anything above your level of like consciousness. Like if you've got to be in the same wavelength as things to see it, whether it's a animal or an interdimensional being. You're not going to see something if they don't want you to see it, and if you're not open to seeing it.
Well, there's a lot of people who say that when you're going into the woods and you're going hiking and you're doing these things, that you walk through it, you should stop and sit and let the forest around you get back to normal by just sitting and being quiet for half an hour and let things normalize, and that you might have more encounters with the wildlife, with, other things there. But
the zoological field would say you're doing the opposite. You're in the normalized. You're trying to make it unnormal
by stopping.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
you're
so.
getting in tune. If you stop.
I think Jay wants to say something. You're muted, Jay.
Jay. Yeah, you're muted.
What's up, man?
Oh, hold on. There I am.
There you go.
Okay. The reason I wanted to come in was asked Thomas, if you don't mind me calling that, you, sir.
Go ahead, Jay. If I can call you Jay, you can call me Tom.
All right, sir. I had an encounter in 1966. What I want to ask you is this. I know you've probably talked to a lot of people that's had an encounter. I've kept this to myself for 55 years. I'm just now coming on and starting to talk about it. I'm sure you've talked to folks that have kept it to themselves a long time. Did it bother them as much as it has bothered me over the years?
Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of people, especially back in the day, like time you're talking about, the 60s and 70s. A lot of people would tell one or two friends about it. They get a negative reaction like, oh, come on, you're crazy. Come on, that kind of thing. And they would just decide to keep it to themselves. That happened more times than I can count, Jay.
That's exactly what happened to me. Yeah. Exactly. And I just didn't want to I told a good friend, and he laughed right in my face. And I said, "Well, I'll never say a word about this ever again," you know. But since I found these, since I started coming on YouTube about a year ago, and just happened to find this Bigfoot community, and I started posting a few things, just about my encounter, not really going into it. But then Jay Birch was on, started talking about it, and a few other people, and I said, well, maybe talking about it will help me get some friggin' sleep at night and stuff like that, and so I started talking about it. And then I started thinking, what if I talk about it? Maybe it'll actually help a researcher if they want to talk to me about it on what happened to me that day. Maybe it'll show them how they react, what they hunt, how they hunt, stuff like that.
Yeah, information like that's always valuable.
Well, Jay, do you feel like talking about it now?
Well, I've told my story. Most of these people in chat have heard my story. And what do you want to ask about? What do you want? If you don't mind me saying, what do you want me to ask me about it?
Okay. Well, first of all, date and location.
I lived about 19 miles from Land Between the Lakes.
Which is located where? I'm in Canada here, so
it's in Kentucky. It's a big refuge in Kentucky.
Okay.
So Kentucky Lake's 180 miles long, and when you get to it, the Land Between your Lakes, it runs into the thing called the Trace, which goes over to the Mississippi River, which is another 200 miles of forest. So we're talking about 400 miles of just solid woods.
Okay. And what year was this?
1966.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 18 years old. I just graduated from high school.
Were you alone when you saw it?
Yes, sir. I was squirrel hunting.
Do you wear corrective lenses?
I didn't back then.
No. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
No.
Okay.
No.
And so you weren't wearing them at the time?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay,
I went blind when I was 43. I'm not wearing them now because I just had my eyes operated on. I got 20/20 vision again now.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, when this happened, what were the circumstances? Like, what were you doing in the area and what exactly happened?
I hunted those woods my whole life. My dad started me hunting when I was 9 years old.
Were you hunting at the time?
Yes, I was. I was squirrel hunting.
What weapon were you carrying?
I had a 22 Ruger 10-shot. And I had a 10-power Leopold scope on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 22 and you're hunting squirrels and small things.
Right.
Okay. Now, what did you see?
I won't go through the whole time, the whole day, the whole morning, but I heard some pigs. We had wild boar in that area. I heard some pigs started squealing off in the distance. This was on a ridge. I'd never seen them. I've seen where the ridge was up high. It's about 50 foot off of a creek bed down below it, kind of a straight drop off. Now, I've seen the pigs down there around that creek bed because the ground was always tore up. We used to hunt arrowheads down there. And of course I'd seen them several times live, but I'd never seen them on this ridge I'd been on. And I always hunted this ridge, other places too, but it was one of my main spots. And I heard these pigs off in the distance, squealing, just making all kind of noise. I kept getting closer and closer. I was sitting behind you probably know what I'm talking about. We call them Cottonwood trees, or we call them gumball trees is what we call them. They're a huge tree. They grow to about 70 to 80 foot tall. And they got a seed on them about a little bit bigger than a walnut. It's got a real bitter seed right inside of it. It's terrible for humans. Squirrels love it though. And to the left of that tree was 4 or 5 feet in diameter. It's a huge tree. To the left of there is some saplings. The pigs came by me, came running through we kids wandered those woods our whole life. We had bike trails through there where we'd ride bikes to see our friends and hunted through there. And to my left of it, I was sitting on a stump. I forgot to tell you that. There's a big old, they had logged that woods about 50 years earlier. There's a big old stump about 15 or 18 feet back off of that where I could get a good shot up into the tree, you know. Off to the left there's a bunch of saplings 10 or 12 foot high. Pigs came flying by, just making 10,000 kinds of noise, you know. I got good peripheral vision. I still got good peripheral vision today. And I caught this black object coming. I could see it, just a black object. When it disappeared behind the tree, then all of a sudden there it was right in front of me. And I got a good look at it. It was breaking day good. I got a good look at it. It had a flattish type nose. And the way the light was streaming through the trees, the sun was coming through the trees early morning like that, I could catch its ear, and its ear was right on the side of its head. So I knew it wasn't a dang bear, because I know what a bear looks like. It didn't run like a bear, because bear wobble, and they don't run like a human being. This thing was running just like I would. It was huge. I'm not saying it was, 8 or 9 foot tall. It was a lot taller than I am, and I'm 6 foot tall. And it was huge. And another thing I noticed was how wide its chest was from front to back. It was ungodly huge. I would say it was 3 foot wide from front to back. And it also, steps were very loud. I remember hearing its feet hit the ground, and it was very loud. And to this day, I've thought about this over the years. There was all size, different type pigs. They wasn't just all bigs. There were some small ones and several small ones, irregular, but there was some boar in there too. The ones that got the tusk, you know.
Just to confirm, these were wild pigs, right?
Wild pigs, yeah. They were wild pigs, yeah. We had pigs in the area, pig farms, but they were 3 or 4 or 5 miles away, you know. But no, these were wild pigs. And I've thought of it several times over the years. I don't think he saw me, because he never turned his head toward me. All I caught was the side of him when he ran by. I never saw the front of him at all. I remember he had the back of his nape. The hair was longish. It was still tight to his head, but you could see on the nape of his neck was long. It was a longish thing. I didn't notice a cone. If it had a cone top, I would have noticed that. I did not have a conish head. And I'm sure there's other things that I can remember if it was brought to my attention, but I'm just going over the main things that I can tell you about it.
And you feel it didn't know you were there. It didn't see you.
No, I didn't. I just don't feel. No, I know it didn't. Reason being, my mother told me. I went home. I finally, about 20 or so minutes, I sat there on that stump because I guess I was in shock. What did I just see, you know? And I sat there thinking, that's the way he's running, the way I got to go home, you know? Because I sat there thinking, I don't know, where am I going to get out of these dang woods? 20 minutes or so went by. It done got quiet. All the pigs, all the woods had done got quiet. And I thought, well, if I go up here around the woods, there's another set of woods about, it's a big 50-acre bean field between me and another set of woods. And in my brown hunting pants and my brown squirrel vest I had on, if this happened in August, the soybeans in August are ready to pick. They're brown. They turn brown when they're ready to pick. If I get down low, I can just go along with soybeans, and the soybeans will disguise me. So I went to the other woods and went in the house, and my mother said, "You're white as a ghost." What happened? You're just white as a ghost, son. And I just told her I didn't want to talk about it. I guess I was in shock. So I spent 3 sleepless nights, going to sleep maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, getting up. I usually got up at 4:30 every morning. I get up at 4:30 every morning now. I always got up real early anyway. And when I went in there, she said, 3 days went by, and I went in there and she said, I want to talk to you. And about why you were so scared the other day. I could tell you were just scared out of your mind. And I told her, I said, I really don't want to talk about it, which is, she pointed her finger right at me, just like I'm pointing at you right now. And she said, you finally saw him, didn't you? And I said, what are you talking about, Mother? And she said, you know why that me and we had a mother and my grandmother raised a great big garden, 4-acre garden. And you know why we come in with a basket. I come in with one, Mama comes in with one, and we always leave a basket behind. And she said, that's to protect you kids. And then she goes on to tell me that she lived in the lower part of the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee. My mother was a mountain girl. And she goes in telling me about a encounter she had when she was a young girl, and about how her ancestors always put out food for them to protect the children, So then she says, you're safe because if he wanted you, he could have took you at any time, any of you children at any time. And she's trying to bring me back to reality here, And God bless her soul. And that's my story. That's what happened to me.
When you saw it, it was moving the whole time?
Oh, yeah, it was running.
It just went past your position and kept going?
It was chasing those pigs.
That's what I was going to ask next. It appeared to you to be chasing the pigs.
Yes, it was. It was definitely chasing the pigs. And the reason I kind of get mixed, my story kind of got, I didn't want to, I was telling it and then I went on to another thing. But what I was going to say was, I thought about this over the years, was as fast as it was running, it could have caught one of those little pigs anytime it wanted to. And I thought to myself, after hearing a lot of people talking about there might have been more than one of them, I didn't even know what a Bigfoot was in 1966. I never heard anything like that. Mm-hmm. And after listening to these stories about he might have been herding those pigs, Mm-hmm. And because as fast as it came by me, it could have caught one of those pigs anytime it wanted to, especially one of the smaller ones,
Yeah, may have been hurting them.
That's what I'm thinking over all these years of thinking about it,
Now, to the subject at hand, you said it was taller than you, but you have no idea just how tall it was.
Well, I know all these people can get tired of it. This makes the third time I've told this, Nikki, or something.
Well,
like
it's
that?
the first time you've told it to me. So
okay.
And telling your story, I'd like to say something. Telling your story is such an important thing to do, because there might be somebody out there that feels they can't tell their story, but by hearing you tell your story, you might give them the courage to say something that they've needed to say for a really long time. So I just wanted to recognize that, because that's honorable.
Okay. Now, Jay,
go right ahead, Jay. You go right ahead.
Okay.
Was it on 2 legs the whole time you saw it?
Oh yeah, it was running just like I would. Did
you ever at any time see it go down on all fours?
No. All I saw it was for about 4 steps back, because
Right.
the woods took back over again.
Just as it walked past your position or ran past your position.
Right. Yeah, I saw it. I'm talking about in 4 steps. it covered 20 feet.
Okay. Now, how far were you from it when it passed you?
Oh, I'm saying I was 18 to 20 feet off of them bike trails. That bike trail, yeah.
So it
So
just ran right by you.
I just came right by me. Yeah.
What color was it, Jay?
It was solid black.
Was it hairy?
Yeah, it wasn't fur. It was hair. It was
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't fur. No, it was hair.
So it was covered in black hair.
Black hair. Yes, sir.
Roger that. Okay. Do you notice anything? Is there anything you remember about its hands and arms?
I don't remember the length of its arms because I was so concentrated on its ear because I could see its ear so good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but I remember its arms were huge, and as far as they were twice the size of my leg.
All
And
right.
I'm a pretty good sized dude, you know.
All right. How long did you see it for, do you think?
Ever how long it take to run 18 to 20 feet by me? It couldn't have been over, what was that, 2 or 3 seconds, maybe.
Okay. Did you notice anything? It never looked at you, and so it never knew you were there, so you never got a good look at its face?
No, and thinking about it over the years, and of course after what my mother talked to me about was, I'm thinking it probably, us kids were always in those woods. Because I'm talking about, not when you say woods, some people look out their door and they see 2 or 3 single trees and they think that's a woods. That's not a woods, folks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking about miles and miles and miles of hunting area we used to hunt.
Wilderness is what you
Wilderness, yes, yeah, and creek beds and cliffs and caves, and I mean we had it all up there, and I think it just got used to us kids being around there. Now, when I'm talking about, where I lived to the next town was 40 miles, solid woods, 40 miles. And then that's the way our area was back in those days, you know. And so it had all this woods and forest to, well, it still does. Land between the lakes is still, well, it's protected. You know what I'm saying? It's a protected area. And so I think it just got, we were in its woods is the way I look at it, you know?
Yeah. Now, after this happened and you were reluctant to tell even your mom about it, did you ever tell anybody about it?
I never told my father. I never even brought it up to my father at all.
Okay.
But I did tell my wife passed away 3 years ago, and I told my wife about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did tell that friend that laughed in my face. That's the only 3 people I've ever told about it.
Okay, Jake. Now it sounds to me like just you had a typical sighting of a Sasquatch. It may have been a case that at the time you were just in the right place at the right time, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think it was total coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like people seeing them run across the road. It was just total coincidence. I just happened to be sitting on that stump and it came by, you know.
Now, how many years after this happened did you continue to live in the same area?
I lived there. I moved from, this is 66. I moved from there in 1982. So I still lived in there. I quit hunting though.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in the woods by myself since then.
Okay. It affected you that much?
Yeah, I can't make myself do it. I've tried.
And since 66, you've never seen anything like this again?
Oh no. I don't want to either.
Don't blame you.
I mean, it's not that it didn't do anything to hurt me.
No, but you just saw something totally illogical.
Absolutely. It's something that just wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Jay, let me reassure you, you've witnessed something that so many other people I've talked to have witnessed in similar circumstances and had a similar effect on them. It's like I said, sir, you were the right place at the right time, or depending on your point of view, the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, I was an 18-year-old kid. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought I was tougher than nails, but that thing, it scared the holy crap out of me. I'm telling you. Yeah. You know.
Now, after all this time and stuff, do you feel categorically that was definitely a Sasquatch you saw that day in 1966?
You know, I never said it was a Bigfoot, but after going into listening to all this stuff, it had to be something on that order. I'll put it that way. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it had a flattish type. I always hate to say this because I'm not racist at all, because it had like a black man's nose. Okay.
A Negro's nose, a flat nose.
Yes, a flattish nose. Yes.
Now, you definitely feel that what you saw that day was not some, I don't know, mountain man, wild man who was just gone back to nature. That
if he was one big tall sucker.
Yeah.
And I've thought about this over the years too. Maybe somebody was pulling a trick on me or something like that. But then I thought, wait a minute.
Did anyone that day know you were going to be there?
Just my mother. When I got up at 4:30 in the morning and went hunting, she's, you know, I got up and went. She was always.
And was your mother the kind of woman that would get a gorilla costume, go out at 4 a.m. to try to fool her son?
No.
With a loaded gun?
With a loaded gun?
No. And I've thought about too, how are you going to stage something like that? Where are you going to get a bunch of wild pigs to chase? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've had to live with that my whole life. Okay, but I'm okay. I want to tell you folks, I'm telling this story I'm okay. You know, I've dealt with it, but it's good to, you know what, it's good. It's just good to get it off my friggin' chest. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jay, I just want to thank you for telling us about it. I
appreciate
hearing your story. And in my opinion of your story is the Sasquatch does indeed exist. I think you saw one that day in 1966.
Lucky man.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's luck or not. I've sat in on a lot of these things, and a lot of these people are talking about wanting to see one, but all I can say is
that's me.
All I can say is be prepared. You know,
I've done my best too.
Yeah, be prepared. You know, because you know, of course, it was such a shock to me because I just, you know, I didn't know. I'd never heard of anything like that before in my life. Well, other than Mama used to, you know how mothers are. But you better get in here before dark, before the boogeyman gets you, or something like that. You know. But,
yeah, my uncles and parents used to warn me about men without bones.
That's about the only thing I ever saw weird. I'll put it this way: that's the only weird thing I ever saw in my life. You know, yeah. I've never seen an orb or anything like that. You know, and another thing too, I hear about these. I never heard a knock. I never heard a yell, a whoop, a whistle. I never heard anything in all the years I lived there.
Get out.
You know.
Well, do you think that they might have happened, but you just didn't, you know, you weren't tuned into it?
Could have been. I've thought about that too. Could have been because I didn't know in '66. You got to realize, folks, we didn't know anything about stuff like that back in those days. You know.
We still don't really.
Well, I guess not, but it's a little more than it was back then, you know. And just
see what impresses me about what you told me, Jace. You just told me what you saw. You didn't add all the other cliches you've heard in the decades afterwards and try to add it to the story. You just just told me straight what you saw with your eyes.
Oh no, I would never.
Yeah, well, so many other people do, and that's usually a red flag to me. Yeah,
I would never embellish anything like this. No. Okay, I just wanted to ask you that question. I'm glad to see you on here tonight. Ever since you've been on a few. I've even watched your shows, and I said I'd like to talk to Thomas one of these days.
Well, I appreciate you telling me about it.
And Brent, it's nice meeting you too, son.
No, you too, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna sit back and just listen now, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, Jay. Thanks for coming on. You're always welcome here. Okay.
Yep. Thank you again, Jay.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question for Jay.
What?
Like when you saw him, did you think that if he saw you, he was gonna hurt you? Did you get that feeling?
Did you have time to get that feeling?
That's
did
right.
you have an eerie feeling before? Like, did it seem a little?
No, I didn't have any eerie feelings. I never had a reason to have eerie feelings. I knew those woods like the back of my hand. And I never had any. I had no reason to be scared. I put it that way, of anything. We had bear, not in our area. We did land between the lakes. I never heard back in those days of any bear in that area at all. Now, around Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, which is about 80 or 90 miles south of there is a bear located down there and every once. But you're talking about that's a real cavey area and stuff like it. But I lived there since I was. We moved in that house when I was a baby, like 3 or 4 years old, till I was. Well, I got married, and I didn't live with my mom and dad, but I got married when I was 21, and I had my own place. But I still lived in that same area for 82, 30-some years, 32 years, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. But I had no reason to be eerie of anything because I never saw anything to make me leery of anything, I wasn't scared of no bear. I've seen bear before, but not in that area, but I've seen them in other places. And every time I ever seen a black bear, they just turn around and run,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it for you, like later on in life when stuff started coming out on TV and like sightings and things started coming out about it? How was it for you?
I saw one of those scary movies, Boggy something.
The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That kind of. Yeah, it was. Of course, it was totally different type situation I was in, but it brought back some sleepless nights. But some of this stuff is so phony because all they're trying to do is make a movie and make money. Okay. But now some of these researchers shows there's a guy out west. I forget his name. Of course, Patrick Vaughn is a tracker, but there's a guy out west. I wish I could think of his name. He's a tracker, and I've been watching it. This guy is really good, and he's got a lot of Sasquatch stuff. I wish I could call his name, but man, he is really interesting. And
from where? From what area?
Colorado.
No, it's Washington or Oregon, somewhere out there. Ilner, something like that. I forget his name.
Elmer,
something like that. He's a tracker. Boy,
Does this tracker claim multiple sightings himself?
Well, he shows footprints where he finds footprints. This guy is really. I'll put it this way. He seems very convincing. I'll put it that way. And I'm not easily convinced about a lot of stuff.
It's not a Canadian by the name of Todd Standing, man.
No. I've watched that dude. No, he's I think he's in the woods a lot, but I think the woods has got dollar signs in it. You know,
Sasquatch, Ontario.
No.
That's Ontario, Canada. That's northeast.
Yeah.
no, this guy's in the state of it's Washington or Oregon. I could be wrong. I've just watched a couple, 2 or 3 of them, and
Not
I'm
Rick Knoll by any chance.
no.
Okay.
I'll get it, and then the next time I'll see one of you guys. I'll text you about it. Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Washington State.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Now I'm right north of him in British Columbia. Yeah.
Oh, are you? Yeah. Okay. My wife was from Sitka, Alaska.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Last frontier.
But I wasn't scared. I'm gonna answer your question now. I wasn't scared the actual second it went by because I was in such. I don't know if awe is the good word.
Surprise.
Surprise. I was so surprised at seeing that thing. I didn't get scared till it got out of my sight. And I was thinking, how in the world am I going to get out of this place? And then when the woods got really quiet, that's when I got scared. Okay? When it got really quiet, I didn't hear birds. I didn't hear a cricket. I didn't hear a tree frog. And that's not normal for the woods, you know. That's when I got spooked.
Not normal for woods in Kentucky. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Thank you guys for all being there in the chat. I appreciate it. Timmy Boy, Papa C, Cindy, Michael Hayward, Lockbeard. Thank you guys for coming and joining the chat. And Timmy Boy, yeah, there's my Gmail. Shoot me your digits, and maybe in the next weekend or so we can get together. So,
Okay.
Uncle Bones is here in El Paso too.
I got a good friend who lives in El Paso.
We may get our own tribe.
Oh, I saw you out Friday night. You was having a good time, girl, wasn't you?
Yeah, we went listening to Puerto Rican music.
All right.
But it was so loud I couldn't even talk. You wouldn't have been
saw-
able to hear me.
I saw that girl shaking her booty.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show a picture of. She was out there having fun in a little bitty area because there's nowhere to dance there, but she found a way.
Is this your sister?
Yes, it is. Jay, my sister Suzanne
Suzanne,
O'Brien.
nice meeting you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you too.
So I'm gonna.
You said you never talked to your dad about it. I wonder if he ever saw it. I wonder.
I don't know. I'm sure that my mother had probably said something. Now, whether he personally, I doubt it. My dad taught me to hunt, but he wasn't a real hunter. You follow what I'm saying? He bought me my first shotgun. It was a little 410, and when I was 9 years old. But he went with me and my other 2 brothers maybe 2 or 3 times. But my dad wasn't. My dad worked too dang much. I'm telling you, you know. Yeah, he wasn't what you call a real hunter, you know.
Is there a lot of sightings in that area since then? Do you know?
I'll tell you the truth. I just started, like I say, I just started coming on YouTube a little over a year ago. Now I heard about that deal down there in the land between the lakes, something about some kind of dog creature or something. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I believe. I don't know if I believe
No,
dogs.
I Unlike Susie, I think a lot of the inmates running the asylum have found Sasquatch too boring, so now they've moved on.
I just don't. I don't. I mean, what do we do? We get a man that mated with a dog or something like that. So, come on, people.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good plot to a movie.
I mean,
to a
come
bad
on.
movie.
For me, I don't put much. This is just my own opinion, of course. I'm just saying my own opinion here. That the Dogman thing, until she wrote that book, The Beasts of Blair Road, I never heard of a single Dogman sighting anywhere outside of.
I mean, it's interesting to listen to and stuff like this, but I mean, I put it this way: to each their own. Okay.
I just want to know if he's wearing pants, the Dogman.
I don't know. Where's the dog women? Where are the dog kids at?
Yeah, where's the dog family?
Yeah. Is it a wolf? Is that what the kids are? It's just a wolf? I don't know. It's one of those more bizarre ones. But there's a lot of, it's a good creepypasta type story.
And something about where I lived we're in the far western part of Kentucky. Close to Missouri. It's a lot flatter over where I was at. Eastern part of Kentucky is the real mountainous, where the Appalachians are. I mean, we had hills and stuff like that, but we were a lot flatter over in our area. And but I don't know what that would have to do with maybe not having as many or something. I don't know anything about this stuff, guys. Yeah,
it's something that we're all still trying to learn and figure out.
I'm not a researcher. Don't want to be there she is. There she is. Show it, Nikki.
Slow motion.
It was
Sightings tend to go up after a night like that.
that stupid little 15-second short got 1,200 views overnight.
Cool.
I'm like, dang, why aren't they watching my show like that? Anyway.
Well, if you want, I can start dancing on the show or something. Twerking.
I pick your genre of music. Are you a rock?
I want to do Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
How about what's this one? Like some slow-mo, easy going. Oh, that's like stripper music.
I thought that first one was like a stripper song.
Hey, do you have a donation button yet?
I'm working on it.
I got multi-layer clothes on, so. I don't know about that one.
That one's crazy. I want them to have where we can download our own free music. Now I can't stop it. Okay, there you go.
I suggest the March of the British Grenadiers. There you
go. Would that get you dancing, Thomas?
Nothing's gotten me dancing in 50 years.
Oh, we could all make a little moolah there if you're dancing on my show.
Yes. I got a $5 on it.
I tell everybody I'm the best chair dancer in the world.
Okay. Let me see. So I am going to stop and do a little thing here. So here we go. The winner of crossword number 2 is Donald Fuller. He got the cross. Was it? It wasn't a crossword. It was
Find the
what do you
word.
call it?
A word search?
Find
Word
the word.
search. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fastest. But we didn't have as many participate on this second one, so I might have to put it out earlier in my show and then again at the end. And then somebody was Brandy was having problems submitting hers, so hers came in later. But I have a feeling she may have won. I don't know. But in the end, Donald, you are the winner. Officially the winner. So you will get a bingo card and held for you, and then I will give them out during the game. We're just going to do it where you're going to pick a number 1 to 10. I have all the cards already numbered, and that's how we're going to distribute the cards. So congratulations, Donald, you won. So now you don't have to play anymore. Oh. So it's happy dance time. Okay.
Good job, Donald.
Yes,
We're proud of
good
you.
job. There was a lot of good questions actually for Susie too. I think it'd be easier if I could use this one over here. If you have a question, put it in caps. If I missed it from earlier, put it again because there's a lot of chat going on. Hey, Steve, Curious Cryptids in the house. I didn't even see you. You're hiding. And let me see. Mr. Fuller, you will take a polygraph test. What is that all about?
Well, someone wants to know if Jay is telling the truth or not. See, that's the big question. If the Sasquatch does exist, or if Jay and many people like him probably have seen one. If the Sasquatch does not exist and never did, then the obvious reality is Jay and a lot of people like him have been making up cool stories for a very long time. It's only one or the other. There are no other possibilities. Now, I know Susie would disagree with me on that. She'd give a paranormal.
I got lots of possibilities.
You know
while
what?
she's shuffling her
to
tarot
me,
cards, probably.
Yeah.
I have a saying I call stick to the facts and never deviate in the facts. And you always remember when you're talking to an alleged witness of a Sasquatch, there's only 3 possibilities. Only 3. 1, they saw a Sasquatch. And Jay, with you, I tend to lean that way. 2, they mistook something or someone for a Sasquatch. Or 3, they're lying. There are no other possibilities.
Well, I'm gonna add this. You know what? I really don't care if anybody believes me or not.
Good.
I know what I saw.
Good.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh, I was going to add one thing too.
What's that?
Since we're talking about the kids, you know, my mother kept leaving that basket out there to the garden. She died when she was 96 years old. She finally had to go into a home. We had to put her in a home when she was 90. And she raised a garden all those years and still left a basket outside the whole time.
What was in the basket, Jay?
She always left like corn, snap peas. They didn't care for tomatoes, believe it or not, evidently.
Is she saying that she basically left this basket out for the creatures?
Right. That's what she told me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was like a peace offering, so she wouldn't get her kids.
Yeah, but that's what that was her said that she learned to do that from her mother. Her mother learned it from her mother. My family lived in Kentucky. We were one of the first families in the state of Kentucky. In 1776, my family moved to Kentucky. So we're one of the first families in the state of Kentucky. You know, at one time, my grandfather had 2,300 acres of farmland, wooded land, and stuff like that. And my mother was in Tennessee. Her family was a little later back there. the early 1800s. So we're talking about a long time ago, folks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've heard that Indian tribes would do that when they raised corn and stuff like that. That they would leave, I guess, what Sue said would be like peace offerings out and stuff like that.
You hear that with salmon too.
Yeah.
Or fish.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
I reckon. Yeah.
It's a universal language,
Yeah.
Do stuff like that. Kindness.
Well, the Bigfoots have the option to get their food out of the basket versus, going through the garden and, probably stepping on something or taking something that his mom didn't want taken.
Right.
I think it's an animal. Easy food is easy food, period.
But if we're dealing with an animal that's got a higher intelligence, then that has some sort of awareness of itself and how it affects other people, then maybe it would be understanding of what was being done.
Well, one thing that shows the Sasquatch probably has very high intelligence. It wants very little to do with us. That's very high intelligence.
Yeah. Well, it shows you how smart they are.
Right.
Well, I mean, I hear a lot of stories of them getting shot, just random stories where a lot of that has to be true. And it makes you wonder, how many of them died or how many it left a bad taste in their mouth. Of like with humans, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, one of the most interesting stories I looked into was about 10 years after Jane's encounter in a place called Hunter's Range in British Columbia. 3 boys armed with 22 rifles were going through a clearing and they saw one of these things watching them at the tree line, leaning against a pile of snags that was just all piled, logs just piled up in a snag. And they got scared and they just started firing at it with 22s. And the only reaction the thing seemed to have was it looked like it was like swatting away mosquitoes. Like, what the heck? And they after plugging about 5 bullets each, the boys just turned and left, and only one boy looked back, and he just saw the thing turn around and walk in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I've thought 1,000 times. I'm glad I wasn't stupid enough to take a shot at that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just would have made me mad.
Yeah, would have pissed it off.
Oh yeah.
That's what you would have done.
Yeah,
I really didn't have time. It was by me so fast, that I really didn't have time.
I always wondered about one of Smokey Crabtree, the late Smokey Crabtree, one of his sons, the folk monster down there in Arkansas. He claimed to have shot it and wounded it, and it hurt it pretty bad because it went down on its knees and made a screaming noise when he ran off. They actually reenacted it in the movie, but they made it sound like it was a kid not related to the Crabtrees, but that's actually the Crabtree boys' encounter on Smokey's property.
Yeah.
And in that case, what he saw was horses running. The horses seemed to be running away from something, and he encountered this thing, and he took a shot at it, but he was carrying a 12 gauge bird shot, and he fired at it, and it screeched and went down to its knees, and he just ran off, leaving the rifle with the shotgun behind. And obviously it hit and wounded it, but he didn't kill it. So
yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. And you can see that incident in the movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, but they make it sound like it's some unrelated boy off on his own. They changed his identity for some reason when they kept everyone else's identity pretty well who they were in that movie. I don't know why they did. Pierce did that, but that's what they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I always thought? You know how I don't remember where it was, like maybe the Northwest Pacific, where they were just finding shoes washing up on the shore?
Canada, Western Canada here. Yeah.
That was
shoes
good,
with
but I think
feet
he
still
holds
in
it
them.
by the shoes and just like
Crazy. What?
No, there's an idea of you haven't heard much about it lately with all the bad news, COVID and blah, 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 blah. But for a while here in the Fraser Valley in British Columbia and off the West Coast, shoes of young men have been found with the feet still in them. And they don't know what's going on with that.
Well, I think it's suicide. People die
More
by
likely.
suicide. And, that's the only floating part that's kind of
comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes up. Yeah, they find them on the Washington coast as well.
Yeah.
I think they found one just not too long ago.
Yeah.
What
But
it
the only-
dislodge once it decomposes, it dislodges or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
comes
Yeah.
apart at the ankle and floats up. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they've all been male and they've all been feet. Yeah.
wow.
Great if you're looking for new shoes, I guess. Good pair right there.
Brent.
Sorry. But they were Air Jordans.
But the theory here is that you don't know if it's suicides or we got a serial killer. Nothing to do with the Sasquatch or any other mystery like that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's quite interesting phenomenon when it just started happening. It was like, yeah, it's unbelievable, really, but it's true. It's like one of those urban legends you'd think.
Right. Well, I don't know. You hear about like those forests in Japan. Is it Japan that has the suicide forest?
We're suicide forests on right on Mount Fuji.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean,
that's creepy.
and it's consistent. There's people. They just keep going.
Well, actually, yeah, a lot of people go to the forest to commit suicide. A surprising number, actually. It's like, wow. Not just over in Japan, but in general here locally.
Well, from about 1900 to 1950, the Nahanni River Valley in the Yukon, areas here called headless this, headless that. That's because so many prospectors were found dead with their heads missing.
Oh, and what about recently that girl who was killed by her boyfriend in Florida?
Yeah.
And they found like 6 people just looking for him.
Yeah.
Her and him, but in the process.
Have any of you guys ever got lost in the woods before?
Yes.
Not
I have.
really.
I got lost one time. I was in another area called Penrose State Park. It's a small, probably 100-acre area down here, and I got lost in it. I was in my 20s, and I was bird hunting, and I was bird hunting, and I got turned around in the open. Well, I said woods, but I meant I got turned around. How do I explain this? There's acreages of beans, woods, beans, you're just all over the place. I got so turned around where I was at on the edges of them beans and them woods, didn't have a compass with me. I didn't really get lost in the woods. I got lost in the fields by the woods. It was, it was unbelievable. It done got dark, and I was walking along the edges of wood. You can get turned around walking a straight line of corn and beans, believe it or not. It's unbelievable.
I can see that. It all probably starts to look the same.
Well, a handy trick to always remember, especially at night, if you can see the stars, you can find the Big Dipper, and the edge of the dipper part, the 2 stars that make the end of the dipper part, you put how many fingers you can fit between those 2 stars, whether it's 3 or 4, depending on how big your hand is, and you go up 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, slightly right, that's the North Star.
Oh,
and
okay.
Always north, and you'll always know where north is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
What I did was I finally got dark. I was walking along the edge of the woods and the bean fields and corn fields, the big beans and corns. And then I finally said, well, if I just stop, there'll be a car come by eventually where my truck's parked at. And I would wait. Sometimes it might be 30 minutes and I would hear a car off in the distance and I'd walk toward that sound. Then I'd stop and I'd wait another how long it took. And I finally followed the sounds of them cars till I got back to I came out actually about a half a mile north up the hill from where my truck was. But that's how I found my way back. The sounds of, yeah.
Would you put that quote back up again, Nikki?
Oh, sure.
I heard him talking about that alligator arm. He said he never made such a big deal about it.
Mm-hmm.
He said that somebody, like a primatologist or wildlife biologist, said he thought it might be primate-like, but wasn't sure. But he didn't make like 14 videos. So
no. Yeah.
I had
we were mentioning earlier the Falk monster and all the happenings around Falk, Arkansas, but the Legend of Boggy Creek is based on how you got the impression of that movie that most of the tracks were 3-toed rather than 5. Yeah, but you talk to a lot of blackburn, you find out that was rare. Most of the footprints actually found were 5-toed. That's mostly all based on the toes that were found in Willie Smith's beans field. So that gets me wondering whether or not those tracks were authentic or not. Yeah.
I had my bird dogs with me that day. I had 2 of my bird dogs with me. Bird dogs are good at finding birds, but they're not good at finding trucks.
Okay, so, but Stacy knew from the beginning that was an alligator arm. Because
I'm just going by what he was saying in Alex's show tonight. I didn't really know too much about it other than after the fact. I don't think I was in the community around when that came out.
Right.
And like I said, Stacy hasn't produced 12 videos all claim the same thing. Yeah.
Well, they had the screenshots of a text message from him to, I don't know who is it to. I do have the name, but I'm not going to say it on here. That says, quote, "Just don't tell anybody they are hoaxed until we announce it."
Mm-hmm.
Officially, I want to draw as many people into this we can make it official. Make sense? Any thoughts on that?
Hoax or mistaken identity. Yeah, but you should wait till the investigation team comes to a conclusion one way or another. Yeah.
Because this guy didn't want to do that when they already knew it was an alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to drum up, something that isn't Bigfoot related. Drum up attention.
Wow.
That's weird. Weird, Christopher Noel.
What does that mean? Alligator arms. What is that?
Stacy Brown Jr. presented a skeletal arm that possibly could have been related to a Bigfoot arm, and it was swept away to supposedly be analyzed and sampled to see what it was. But he knew it was an alligator arm to begin with, but wanted to get more,
alligators
hype on it for his
alligators don't have arms.
Well,
yeah.
You know what? I can probably find the picture and bring it up.
Alligator appendage.
Okay.
But not that appendage.
There's been stuff like that turned in. There's been stuff like that turned in before, and they've usually turned out to be a barefoot or something. So far, nothing that's been turned in has been found to be unidentifiable.
There's a guy that asked me I was in Moggs' room the other day, and he wanted me to talk about it, and I just didn't want to talk about it that night. But he asked me if I'd ever found a skeletons in the woods. I said, "Oh yeah, you're always finding like deer bones and stuff like that." He asked me if I'd found bear bones. I said, "No, I never found bear bones and like that. You know.
Nature's disposal system's pretty efficient.
Yes, it is.
Ironically, porcupines are.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too that the animals eat their bones. They eat the marrow out of them bones. You know, they'll spread those bones everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
And they eat the marrow out of them. I don't know if you feed your dog a bone, when they eat the marrow, that bone is just shattered to nothing. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You pick it up, you're just picking up splinters, you know?
Yeah, the worst, most interesting skeleton I ever found was in a clearing in the woods in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta. This was years ago. It was the whole rib cage and spinal column of an elk, and that's all that was there. It looked like it was in the center of a target, and all around it for about 5 feet was the hair, spread out like a carpet.
Whoa.
But nothing else was there. No neck, no skull, no legs, no nothing. Obviously, they'd been taken away by other scavengers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Could be Dogman.
I don't know if you ever seen on National Geographic, they showed a bunch of baboons was eating some kind of animal over there. They stripped that thing down to nothing. I mean, there wasn't nothing left.
Well,
can't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me, and I've said this before, I think I said it on your show, Nikki, that if the day ever comes and the physical remains of a Sasquatch is laid out on the table for the world to see and what science has always demanded, it's not going to be found in the trees in the bush somewhere by a researcher like myself. It's going to be found by some anthropology student who came across it on some long forgotten museum drawer or dust covered box somewhere. You know, because for everything our museums put out on display, they have things in their archives that they've even forgotten where they've come from. Maybe a good idea to go to these museums and say, show us your dead.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a really interesting movement to have museums go, take inventory of their bone collection and see if there's any unusual sized bones in there.
Especially in the skull or jawbone department.
Yeah, because, I don't think that they really leave their dead for people to find, with how elusive they are. It seems that they're going to be really mindful.
It literally looks like the warehouse in that Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Ark is just put in a box. And one of these hundreds of thousands of boxes there. Nobody knows where it is. That's what a museum archives look like. They have no idea. Turned in 1956, question mark, blah, blah, blah. They don't even know anything about it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? One day we wake up and it's all over. Bigfoot's discovered real in the box in some attic of some Smithsonian building that's being renovated.
Because there are stories of bones, strange bones being found that were turned into museums and you never heard from them again.
Yeah, that's true.
I was talking to on Moggs' show the other night. Stevie B asked me I typed in something on there about my experience, and she said, wanted to hear my story. So I got on there and told my story. And I got done with it. We sat there and talked and everything. I really don't. I feel sorry when we really do find one of these things. I feel what's going to happen. I'm not a PETA type person or stuff like that, but I just,
that magic will be gone.
Yeah, it'll be gone for the people that want to find it. But I'm talking about for the creature himself. He's going to have to be protected.
What will happen is the slow process of acceptance Slow merry-go-round of acceptance will get rolling. It has to be examined. Other scientists will have to examine it, confirm there's something there.
Yeah.
And then some politician will say, gosh, gee, do we need to protect this thing? Then another study will start up, a slow merry-go-round with that. And that's how it works, because that's the way it has always worked. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, if they're a human type person, I got a brain like we do. There's bad humans in this world. So you got to think if there's bad humans, and if they're a humanoid type, there's got to be bad ones of those. So you would have to eliminate those,
We had a hard enough time finding them, period.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I know we're having such a hard time. If we find one, you're going to find the other zillion of them, or ever how many there is. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have. It's going to be a project. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, wilderness is wilderness, and that's what a lot of people forget. There is a chance you may run into something that may want to eat you. It is not a park, and it's no place for the timid.
Right.
But I'd be more worried about things on four legs with teeth and claws than I would the Sasquatch.
Yeah, I live in Florida now. There's things down here, a lot of things down here that want to devour you.
Oh, you see, and I'm in British Columbia. I can't imagine living in a place where every snake can kill you, or half the insects can kill you.
I know. It's like I'm like with Thomas there. It's like most thing I'm worried about is losing my car keys or something.
Yeah.
No wild animals that we really have to worry about. No rattlesnakes.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty fortunate.
We got to worry about things like mountain lions, grizzly bears, and
I was telling the other day, I got a doctor that lives 2 houses down from me, and about a year and a half ago, they got a 10-foot alligator out of his swimming pool.
That's wild. Like, I can't imagine that. I really couldn't.
Florida is so vulnerable to invasions. Like, look at the Burmese python problem they're having now.
Yeah.
There's probably more Burmese pythons in the Everglades of Florida than there is in Burma.
Yeah, because people turn them loose as pets.
I know for a fact, and this is why I always remind people who are into the skunk cave down there. I can't remember exactly where it is, but there is a small area in Florida where you can actually take a tour to go look at a thriving troop of chimpanzees that got out of a train way back in the early 80s or something like that.
No, they were shooting a movie.
Yeah.
They were shooting a movie on an island, and they left them there. Well, they didn't realize them monkeys know how to swim, They didn't stay on that island. They got somewhere down the Everglades or somewhere down in there, there's a troop of orangutans that got loosed. They're living down there now.
The cocaine hippos that Escobar left behind. You guys heard about those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Hey, we got that invasive Asian hornet. It's like this big. It's like 10 feet big. It's like.
Oh, I hope they don't come down here because I'm allergic to hornets. Oh.
Yeah, these are wild, huge.
Oh, I don't want to see one of those. No way.
And they're like they've been found in my county, the county that I live in. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, the biggest news in the last 10, 15 years is maybe the eastern puma isn't extinct after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex did a really good documentary on the mountain lion.
I keep meaning to go watch that, and
It's really good. He did a really good job on that one.
Oh, I saw mountain lions back in the. I like to fish, I like to bass fish, and I almost hit a mountain lion back in the late 60s, mid 70s. I can remember the exact year, but I almost hit a mountain lion with my bass boat behind me. Ran right across the road in front of me. I mean, it was huge. It was bigger than any cat I ever seen in my life. You know, we had bobcats and never since we didn't have panthers or anything like that, but we'd have bobcats and stuff like that. But this thing was 4 times the size of a bobcat, had a huge long tail on it too. So it couldn't have been nothing but a mountain lion. One reason is back when Barkley Lake was impounded, which is, you got the land between the lakes is Barkley Lake and Kentucky Lake. The land between the lakes is the land in between those 2 lakes, okay? And they introduced elk into it in the late 60s, 69, 70 in that area. And it's got a huge population of elk in Kentucky now. And where there's elk, there's going to be mountain lions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool animals. We actually had one stay in our house for a short period of time where my mom shot a commercial at our house.
A mountain lion?
Yeah, it was one that was habituated that they raised as a little baby, and yeah, it was a really cool experience. I was probably like 9 years old or something, and to have this mountain lion come stay at your house while the parents shot a commercial is really cool.
That is really cool. I wish that like it would be possible to have a big cat, because I would have one for sure.
Oh yeah, this one was really nice. I mean, we couldn't go play ball with it or anything, but we were able to pet it, and it had its chain around its neck and stuff. And
I've seen one black panther since I've been in Florida. I fish out of a kayak now, and I can go. I put it in the back of my truck. I go to all kind of lakes and things that are out in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you. And I've seen. I saw one black panther down around. We got a place down there called Florida City. It's very right in the middle of the Everglades. I mean, and I saw a black panther one day. The black panthers they're small. They're not big at all.
But they have really long tails, right?
Yeah, they got very long tails. Yeah, it's very rare. They're very rare to see one down here too.
But the underlying message is wilderness is wilderness. It's not a park.
That's true.
It's a wondrous, beautiful place to visit and do research, but it is wilderness, and it's not for the timid.
Yeah, definitely got to watch out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a jungle.
For sure.
Well, I'm gonna leave all that stuff up to you, Brent. You're a young man, and you're the ones that's gonna have to find one, not me. If I find one, he's gonna have to knock on my back, my lanai there, and come in, and I'll see him in this easy chair. Okay.
Well, Jay, just so you know, awesome. I appreciate you telling us about your story tonight and being able to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
You know, for 50 years, I've been trying to have one close encounter like you did, and I'm still trying. Yeah.
Yeah. I just.
And I tell you, man, you never be afraid well, I won't say never be afraid, but you know, don't keep it to yourself, because man, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason.
You're not alone.
That's the reason I started talking about it. It's helped me.
Mm-hmm.
All these coming on here and talking about it. It's just get it off my darn chest that I know I'm not the only one that's seen one of these things, and it just to get it off get it off my chest. You know, just.
I hope we're able to help you with that.
Yeah. It's helped a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Nikki, we've been going for an hour and a half now. How long do you want to go?
However long you guys want to go. No, just another 20 minutes or so. I'm going to start getting everybody off. Miss Dill, so I shoot the link into the chats, and then you've got to grab that link, and it'll take you to the crossword or word search that I post. And then you do it online, and then you can submit it from right there. And the first person who submits is the one who is getting, in this case, a bingo card for a big game that's going to be coming up. But I put it back in there, so if you want to play it, you can still play it. It's okay. It's still a live link. So there you go. And there was another question. Wolves love elk. Oh, that's what I meant to take off. Apparently, the Black Panthers are in England and have been seen many times.
Oh, really?
Are those real?
That's a big mystery in Britain right now. Is the big cat sightings? Yeah.
Yeah, but are they really big cats? Or are they just house cats that are taken at such an angle they look big?
That's what some people say, but some of the video, they do look awful damn big. Yeah.
Well, I saw somebody make a video. They replaced the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park, the very first scene. They replaced it with a black cat, and it looked pretty convincing. It was adorable too.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend everybody watch that one.
One thing about Britain, though, what I'd be very interested to look into are the sheep farmers reporting loss of livestock.
With chupacabra.
Which you think would happen if they've got a big predatory cat running loose in the woods of Britain.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think the Sasquatch makes a habit of killing large game. Because if it did, we'd have ranchers and farmers complaining about lost cattle and stuff every year, and that doesn't seem to happen. And when it does happen, we usually find evidence pretty quick of the mountain lion and the bear that actually did it.
Yeah, I do notice that there's a lot of farms here that butt up to the Cascades where it would be like easy pickings for them, but it doesn't seem like that they're really engaging in that activity, which I always kind of wondered about. It's like, it's easy food. You'd think it would be like a no-brainer, but apparently it's a brainer for them.
Look at Jay's situation there. There were pig farms not too far with easy to catch domestic animals, but it was chasing wild.
Yeah, and there's also too, we had the farmland around there wasn't. Oh, you'd see bean fields like the one the guy that I crossed. You see bean fields a little bit, but the ground down there wasn't really conducive to growing crops. A lot of crops, and it was mostly red clay and stuff like that. You can't grow crops in red clay, and or good crops. You got to have good black dirt to grow corn and beans and stuff like that. And there was cattle. Now people had a lot of cattle. You never heard of. Even when the cows used to have their babies in early April through May, and you'd hear about one dying every once in a while or something like that. Even the you just didn't hear none getting killed when they killed or getting mutilated or something like that. You just never heard anything like that,
Yeah, because that's something you definitely would hear about, because especially here in Washington, our wildlife department works really closely with the ranchers to help protect the wolf population. So we've got a really robust protection for the gray wolf here. And so instead of killing wolves, they try to work with ranchers to minimize the wolf livestock interaction. And they're pretty successful at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's something that most states like Idaho should probably adopt versus, just mindlessly killing them.
So
that's how they got wiped out in the first place.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had a lot of wild turkey, and there's a lot of wild turkey where I was from, and there was a lot of pigs, and there was, of course, rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. But as far as cattle, and occasionally you'd see sheep. Somebody'd have a sheep farm, something like that, and pigs. But you just never heard of anybody having. At least I didn't. I never heard of stuff like that.
Well, you hear random stories, but doesn't seem like it's their MO. It doesn't seem like they're really affecting our lives the way we affect theirs.
I ran up on more moonshines than I did anything. Moonshine steals. I I was more afraid. I was more afraid of getting shot around one of them than I was anything.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Lower
Yeah.
mainland British Columbia, we worry about running into someone's grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually why I carry a gun. Is it's not really for Bigfoot or for the other animals. It's for that person that you don't want to come across in the forest, and they're out there too. Here locally, there's a suspected serial killer that kills people out in the forest, and it's a whole hypothetical. I'm part of a Facebook group that kind of explores it, but it's interesting with all the missing people that you don't hear about, but are just like found out there in the woods. But that's when I found out that that's where a lot of people go to commit suicide too.
Yeah, I was always more scared of other hunters than I was anything, you know.
Oh, for sure. That's why I try to go like as remote as possible, like to get away from everybody where you know you're pretty much the only person out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee, Zasky just has to get his iPad and go, boom, there's a Sasquatch.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually, I've been watching all of it. I've watched every single Mark Zasky video, and it's fascinating with how much he believes that.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out his technology because I'm kind of learning more about the artificial intelligence used and some of this editing software.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like with upscaling and stuff that he does and how it creates different.
He does it.
Like I said, always said, one of the worst things that ever happened to this research was the invention of the internet. Great tool it is, and we all love it, but it's a soapbox for every snake oil salesman out there.
Yeah. Mark Zasky's really making a push right now. I don't know if he he's no longer really partnering so much with Kerry Arnold anymore, or if they kind of splitting up. But I noticed he's really focused on building his community of crypto reality. He got a Facebook group now, and he's going to try and teach like classes, I guess, of how he does it and how he goes out and gets his activity. And it's really interesting stuff. He hasn't banned me yet, so I mean that says a lot. He doesn't respond. He didn't respond to me in the Facebook group when I was in Bigfoot Odyssey, but you know, it's probably smart that he didn't.
I can't watch him. I can't watch him at all anymore.
I think his passion for the subject, like how hardcore he is, and just his whole thing, it kind of reminds me of Colorado Bigfoot. Something about it, it's just kind of entertaining. I don't know, it's just one of those things. But
oh yeah, no, I was totally entertained in the beginning too. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you know, with me, I still believe I guess I'm considered one of the last of the old guard, and there's one golden rule: thou shalt not hoax, not ever. And once you do, your credibility is gone forever.
Hey, but I also like B-rated horror movies, you know, like cheesy movies too.
Real,
Oh yeah. But that's entertainment.
I don't watch none of that stuff. That Colorado Bigfoot, as a matter of fact, that's the first thing I ever watched was his thing. But after about 4 or 5 shows, when he started whining about how much it, I said, wait a friggin' minute. This sounds like one of them online dating sites. when you meet up with a gal, and the first thing they love you, and all of a sudden they're asking for your pocketbook. Wait a minute. You know? Yeah.
Well, for the last 5 years, he's been living off of people's donations. Someone even bought him a brand new 22-foot or 25-foot travel trailer that he lives in, and he gets quite good donations because he has his loyal followers, you know, groupies, so to speak, you know.
And you know, he is in a great area. He really he is. But oh my God, when he showed those Bigfoot sitting in the circle, do you remember that photo?
I think so. Yeah.
God.
That was like a few years ago.
I don't think he ever showed anything. Anytime he saw one of those, that it wasn't blurry though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were all blurry.
Yeah.
Does anyone know, is Dan Messiah still alive and active? I haven't heard from him in years.
I don't think so. I haven't heard of him.
Okay. He was prominent looking into the Pikes Peak region of Colorado, and all that happened in the mid-'80s.
No, I don't know him.
I noticed there's like a lifespan of people who come into this subject. It's like 5 to 10 years, maybe, and then they kind of get out of it, or kind of not really into it as much. Because I noticed a lot of people who are really active in the 2010s and so that they're really kind of out of the subject now.
Well, if I had $1 for everyone that was so determined to get involved and they're around for a weekend or two and then they lose interest, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah. You guys are stuck with me until I see one at least. Hopefully that's
for a little while.
Hopefully that's the summer. Yeah, hopefully that's this summer too.
I mean, the whole reason we're still here is because question 1 hasn't been answered yet. Does, in fact, the creature exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I still doubt it today. Even after seeing that thing, I still doubt it. What the frig did I see? You know what I'm saying? I still got that doubt in my mind.
Yeah, and some of the most impressive witnesses I've ever interviewed were people who, well, there's one who says there cannot be a Sasquatch. There's no way it could have been a Sasquatch. Well, how do you explain what you saw? He said, I don't know what I saw.
Yeah.
They said, but there's no way it could have been a Sasquatch. Why can't it be a Sasquatch? He says, because there ain't no damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. I think I'm going to wrap up the part of the show that deals with Bigfoot. And well, I mean, you can stay, but I'm going to allow my
we're charging you the full 2 hours, just so you know.
Okay, I have your money right here, Brent. Now, Thomas gets a little bit more.
I would have took some Mike and Ike's too.
Well, now Dollar Tree went up to $1.25. It's not.
I saw that. I'm like,
oh, I know.
I'm like, what? I saw that. I'm like, are you guys going to change the name of your store or something? Because it's a dollar store, $1 plus.
Yeah, we're paying $2 a liter up here now, and I think that translates to about $5.50 a gallon in your terms.
Holy crap! Wow. Yeah, that just get anxiety just thinking about it.
They're using the war as the excuse, but everybody knows it's just taxes and greed.
Hey, those rich people, we need to support them. If we don't support them, they're going to lose all their stuff, and we can't let that happen. So we need to give all of our money to them.
I said, hey, the prices started going up before the first Russian tanks started to roll, so give me a break. Yeah.
And all that money rolls right back into them politicians' pockets.
Time for a revolution, guys. Let's do it.
Time for a revolution. I love that.
Oh, there you go.
So,
do karaoke night.
Don't start talking like that, or CSIS will end up knocking on your door. Or in your case, the FBI.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm going to allow my sister to
we got a prime minister. We got a prime minister just introduced the War Measures Act against partying truckers, for God's sakes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I know Miss Dill has to give us updates on what's happening up there.
What were you doing, Susie?
Somebody in the chat, Sandy, wanted me to pull a card, and I pulled her a card.
Oh, nice. I like to hear about this.
Hey guys, I'm gonna back on out of here. It's time for
Alrighty, Jay. Thank you.
Right.
I gotta go to bed.
Okay.
Great
good
meeting
night.
you. Thanks again, Jay.
Okay, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you folks too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, man.
Talk to you later, Timmy boy. Good night.
Sandy, you got the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is a woman that knows what she knows, and she's gone through a lot to get there, and she pays attention to her intuition. So when you get this card, you might want to ask yourself, what do I know? Do I know what's really going on? And trust your intuition, trust yourself. So that would be a card to make you look at yourself and see what truths you know, and your answers are there. So whatever you think is right. And well, she's beautiful. She's she brings abundance. Like maybe, you know, abundance can be with love. It can be with friendship. It can be with money. It can be with spirituality. And so that's an amazing card. It's an amazing card. It means that you're very intuitive and you know what you want, you know what you're going to do. So don't question yourself, just go with it. And yeah, there's some more stuff on there too. Like the moon there's a picture of the moon on it. Let me show you. Wait, let me stop. Wait, how?
You're shaking.
Is that a tarot card?
Wait, let me do it.
Yes.
Okay, there it is. I can't put it in the middle. Okay, so there's a little moon right there. And she's got her rope tied around that moon because she has control over her emotions. She has control. She's just so cool. She doesn't have any freakouts ever. And she just keeps her cool no matter what. She values all the knowledge she gained. So like for me, for what I'm picking up from this card, pulling it for you, it's telling me that don't question yourself. Don't ever question yourself because whatever you think is right, you're right on the money. Like, so pay attention to your intuition because it's right.
Trust yourself.
Yep. Trust yourself always. Self-trust, self-love, self-care.
Makes for an awesome person.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know. I thought I was pretty awesome before I knew how to do that. But, yeah, it does. It makes you way more awesome.
I think it's true for Sandra. It sounds like, you know, her personality.
Mm-hmm. Well, only she will know. And sometimes you don't know, right, when somebody tells you something like that. But later it'll come. It's kind of like hypnotherapy, too. Like sometimes.
Susie, do you know how to use those tarot cards, Sarah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Well, let me tell you a little story. A true story. Many moons ago, in the early 1980s, when I was actually married, I went into a tent with this woman, and she had the whole outfit. She had the ball, she had the tarot cards and stuff like that. And my ex-wife was really a rude skeptic. And I simply asked her, I've spent my life looking for something, will I find it? But my ex-wife was really, really rude to her and stuff like that. And I think she got mad. She pulled out a card and said, yes, you will, but you will not survive the encounter. And it will happen when you're about 45 years old. That's what she told me. But I think she was more mad at her. Because after all, I'm 60 now and still going. 45 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she told me, yeah, I will find... in other words, I will find the Sasquatch, but I will not survive the encounter. That's what she told me.
Oh, wow.
So no one will know about it.
Ooh.
Now, was she just being mad at my ex-wife, or was she actually telling me the truth?
Do you want me to pull you a card?
I'm almost afraid to ask now. Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, see, it's not like it's not all that taboo. I can't tell your future with these cards. These cards are
then she was making that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't, even fortune tellers can't tell your future because.
Well, they're good. I was hoping you'd say that.
But they're tools to help you question yourself and find the answers within yourself, because that's one of my beliefs, is that everything you need is around you or within you. So I strongly believe that. So for the longest time, all my life, I was looking for answers outside myself, and that's why I was kind of a dumb shit. Now I've learned, and it's, you know, it's really true. So that's the way I roll.
That's awesome. Kind of curious to see what kind of card Thomas gets.
Yeah.
Do you want one? I mean, I
go ahead. Go ahead.
If you want one.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Do you have an intention in mind, or you just want a random card?
But what do you mean by intention in mind?
Like, do you have like an intention, like something that you are seeking?
Yes. Will I ever
see a Sasquatch?
See a Sasquatch.
Okay,
Good up and
so
close.
like, yeah. I would say like,
because I may have seen one already. I just can't say so because it was too far away.
Okay, so what I would ask would be, how you're something about your research, because you can't ask if you're going to do something or not, but if this is going to say something about your research or your passion for that, or
will my research be successful?
Oh wow, you got a really good card for that. You got the sun. Wait, the sun.
Is that
That's
good?
the best card. Yeah, that's the best card. It means total happiness because the sun represents happiness, and the sky is blue and clear, and so that's like purity, and there's nothing standing in your way. And that red flag is for passion, and the little naked baby, that means you have nothing to hide. You can be your authentic self, and you have support of your friends, and you will be over your obstacles. Like, it's a success card. It's total victory card. And you have support from your friends. It's a happy card. So that's the yes card. Like, so for your question, that would be a yes. That would be a yes. But for your life, you might want to fit that into your life. Like, do you feel like you've gotten over all your obstacles? Do you feel like you do have support of good, pure, true friends? Do you feel like you don't have anything to hide?
Yes, but when it comes to family, no, they're totally skeptical or just dead set against it.
Oh, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say any names, Nikki. No, I'm just kidding.
You got called out.
But yeah, so like, yeah.
They tried to discourage, put it that way. Yeah.
But
Listen,
passion.
I'm being nice to her, okay?
Yeah,
She has the
is.
goods
Let me
on
come on
me.
the show.
She
Well,
knows everything I've done to her.
It's a lot better reading than 1983, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I don't read any negative. Like, well, I guess I do, but I tell what's on the cards, but I don't see negative as a negative anymore. Like, I don't think there's bad or good. I believe it's all an experience. Like, if something bad happens to you, it's all an experience. No matter what, you're going to come out with value you didn't have before the experience. And so it's all about growth and learning and being like getting to the best version of you. And that's how you do it. That's what life's all about. It's crazy, I know, but that's what we came here for all those trials and tribulations.
Right.
It makes us who we are. Your traumas make you who you are. And when you understand your traumas and you get to know your traumas, you can be free to let that trauma like make you blossom in your ability to communicate with people or your ability to understand certain things better. I think our traumas and the bad things are really good things. So that's why when I read, everybody says it's positive, but it's because I think bad things are good things too. And once you think like that too, you don't have to be like so afraid of bad things happening, because you could be like, yeah, bad. It's not bad. There is no bad.
Mr. Lee wants a reading.
Okay. Okay. Okay, he got the 5 of Wands.
Ooh.
So this card looks like they're fighting. They're adolescents and they look like they're fighting. But this card is real. What they're really doing are in training, because they're not fighting. They're in training. So maybe you have an idea or a action that you want to put into play, but you've just got it into the beginning training stages. Maybe you have friends supporting you with that and helping you get through that. Or maybe there's some conflict that you're either avoiding or in the middle of.
Oh, shit.
But
Wow.
there's growth and there's growth, passion, and don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously. Just take the growth out of it. Take whatever lesson is out of it and roll with it. Because the sky is clear. There's nothing standing in your way.
Okay, that was weird. Did anybody else pick up on the fight or the conflict
Yep.
that she said? And was it Saturday night?
Yep.
Mr. Lee had an argument with somebody on a chat.
Oh.
That's not normal.
So does that mean there's conflict for Mr. Lee, or he's experienced conflict?
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's why I said don't take it too seriously too. Just let it roll off your back, Mr. Lee.
Oh, he was pretty pissed from what I heard. He's like beside himself.
We all thought that it's not normal. It's not something Mr. Lee normally does, but it was, and it did happen.
Oh, just wait till you guys see me pissed off, man. Ooh.
Oh man.
More to grow.
Oh, that was Mr. Lee? Oh, okay. I thought I saw somebody say that. Cool.
I think that matched.
That was pretty good.
I got the coolest cards, sister. Guess what? They're what's that movie? With David Bowie and all the Muppets. The one you didn't used to let me
Labyrinth.
I'd get freaked out. Yeah, Labyrinth. I got some Labyrinth cards. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Dance, magic dance. Dance, magic dance.
She used to cover my eyes because I used to get freaked out about everything.
On Labyrinth?
Yeah.
That was a freaky movie as a kid. That was freaky.
I don't think I
You used to
ever saw
have to
that.
sing her to sleep every night.
Yes, yeah. And what was it? The Never-Ending Story used to freak me out.
Yeah.
The biggest case of false advertising ever done, the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, it was really sad when that horse died. I remember bawling my eyes out like a little baby.
Yeah.
And I watched it last week.
Now Jimbo wants you to read for him. Jimbo.
Okay. I'm clearing the energy like off the cards between people, so just give me a sec. Okay, Jimbo. Okay, you guys are getting good cards today. This is the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. This is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, this woman, she's a self-made woman. She's can do anything she wants because and the sex doesn't matter. It could be a boy, you could be a male or a female. So this is a person that has made it to the top and does whatever she wants, but is still tied to following the rules, or still kind of has to conform. That's what it means. So this is a person who has all these pentacles. Pentacles is an earth sign. The pentacles can stand for money. They can stand for abundance. And like I said, abundance can be anything. And she has more than enough. And she has more than enough because she got herself there. She did whatever she grew. She went over obstacles and did everything she could to be that way, in that fancy dress with this bird and hat. She's rich, but she worked hard to get there. And she's willing to give a little bit. She's willing to give a little bit to stay there. So she pretty much does whatever she wants, but she still is tied to conformity. And this bird on her shoulder, you can't see it really good, but it's got a hood on it. So birds are supposed to fly. They're supposed to be free and go. But this bird, it's being kept on a chain, and it's got a hood over its eyes. So I would say growth, security. But I would say maybe there's something holding you in conformity, or holding you just holding you back a little bit. It's not a bad thing though, because it's okay to conform a little bit. We all have to be civil to each other. So it's not a bad thing. This is an awesome card because she's the shit. I think of me when I think of her. She got all this, she knows about all this stuff, but it's because she went through it. It's because she went after that knowledge. Most people don't. Maybe you might want to open your eyes to something, or maybe you're not using all the knowledge that you have. Maybe you're not acknowledging it. So that's what I'm thinking, because I don't know. I think that's all I pick up off of that. Yes.
I don't know
Did
Jimbo
that
that well, so I don't know.
Oh, did that mean anything? Oh, and a beer. She
Did
didn't have a beer, but she's got
how'd she do,
the
Jimbo?
grapes by her, maybe wine. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
What'd you say, sis?
Just asking Jimbo how it was. How was the reading? Did it make sense?
Oh,
Did
yeah,
it
okay.
not? You know, got to tell us the truth. If it didn't
Did it
apply to you,
resonate? So that's what we say. We say,
Yeah.
did it resonate?
did it resonate?
Um,
Did it resonate? Oh shit! I was pulling card for Susie on my end over here.
I have cards too.
That is so weird. Well, no, mine are oracle cards.
What'd you pull? I know I have those too. Do you like those? Those are so pretty. I think those are so pretty. It's like,
Yeah,
I
but
really do. I do love those.
my mind was on you doing that, and I pulled the seer card.
Oh yeah, I told you. She doesn't believe me. I told her.
That looked like the lady that gave me the bad reading in '83.
Well, hey, Thomas, did anything happen to you of significance at the age of 45?
1986, I had a close run-in with a grizzly bear while out in the bush. I've told you about that. Let's see, I was born in '61, so how old was I in '86? I'd have to get out the calculator to figure that out.
I don't
Well,
do math. I can't
That's the most dangerous thing that's ever happened to me in the bush doing research. It was a close run-in with a grizzly bear in '86. I ended up getting 4 or 5 stitches in my back because of that.
Wow.
Mhm. But it was also the luckiest day of my life.
So did that
It could have
happen
been a
when
lot
you were
worse,
at that
yeah.
age?
I beg your pardon?
Did it happen around that age when it was supposed to? Or
Well, let's see. I was born in '61. Just give me out the old calculator because I was never good at math.
Yeah, I can't.
1986, subtract
no way.
1961. I was 25 years old when that happened. Yeah, by the way I went up that tree, I was a lot younger. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, the lady who read the tarot cards at the Calgary Stampede in '83 said I'd have a counter when I was 45. I would find out what I was looking for, but I wouldn't survive the encounter. That's what she said. Yeah. But she was mad at my ex-wife at the time because my ex-wife was being very rude to her. Matter of fact, she embarrassed me. So, yeah.
Aw.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? It might be something that you're not thinking of. It might not be an animal attack. It could be something else that happened to you around then.
Yeah, right. Because what year?
It wasn't too long after that I was diagnosed as type 2 diabetes.
What year was it when you were 45 years old?
Get out the old calculator.
Did you find what you were looking for? Like it might have been maybe.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I'm still looking. Yeah.
But maybe you found something that you didn't realize you were looking for at the age of 45.
Maybe it'll pop up in your mind.
45 was
later.
2006. So
Anything? What were you doing then?
what I'm doing now, looking for the Sasquatch and being disappointed and not being able to find it. Yeah.
You didn't go to a party or anything, or?
I'm not much of a party goer.
Did
Matter
you
of
meet your
fact,
second wife?
the last
just
big
kidding.
party I went to was New Year's Eve 1989, and I made a vow never to drink again, and I never have.
Yeah.
Why did you make that vow?
Defrozen.
By the way, sorry about that roar, but that was a train going by here. So.
Oh.
That you actually found the Sasquatch.
He's knocking on the door.
It's outside, buddy.
And the one time I may have seen a Sasquatch, that was March of 2004. I saw a figure. It appeared to be jet black in color, but was also too far away to positively identify. So that's what I say. I saw a figure. If it was a Sasquatch, I have seen one. If not, I still have not.
Do you guys think they're in the desert too? Maybe but smaller.
I don't see how.
You think there's a
I
possibility?
don't think so.
I don't see how. But then again,
Yeah.
until the mid-1990s, I was absolutely skeptical of anything east of the Rocky Mountain foothills. It was getting to know good researchers in the east, like Don Keating in Ohio, and guys like that, and Mrs. Neese when she was down in Florida. That got me thinking, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these things exist elsewhere too. You know how it was back then. We thought of it as Pacific Northwest phenomenon. As a matter of fact, until that movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, came out, I never thought of Sasquatch being anywhere else.
I bet you they're a lot closer than we think.
Interesting.
You know, I don't know, because our germs might play a factor in killing them or something. Like it killed 95% of Native Americans, so it makes you wonder if we affect them the same way. Maybe that's why they stay away, because they realize that
probably stay as far away from us as they can.
Probably. Yeah.
If they did catch one, like we were talking about earlier, if they did catch one, it would change the nature of all of them. Like they're like, what's it called? They're
It would change.
Their like lineage, the way they act, and like the way their habitat and everything.
Modern anthropology and zoology like you wouldn't believe. If it was confirmed that the Sasquatch actually existed. A lot of people would have a lot of questions to answer. Yeah.
Killed by Bigfoot is laughing because I said catch, because that's funny. That is funny. Like, how in the hell are you going to catch one? Just catch one.
You can do it.
Catching
I was trying to catch a raccoon.
Catching it is one thing. Keeping it is something else.
So I got to be friends with it. I got to be friends with it.
Are you going to let her read you, Brent, before we leave?
If you want. Want to bring that sort of.
Yeah.
Well, you have to want it.
Yeah. I'm down. Yeah, let's do it. Dun, dun.
Clear your mind, Brent. No perceived notions here.
Brent. Card is for Brent. Okay, the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands.
Why does that keep happening?
The Knight of Wands is some kind of action or some kind of idea or some kind of plan that's coming in fast. And it's going to bring you to a new perspective. But you're protected. There's not a lot of growth around it yet, because when the night comes in, the night kind of just comes in and like tears stuff up and then thinks about it later. So whatever it is, it'll come in fast, an idea or a plan that you might be having. You're supported. I'm passionate. And I don't know why, but you're looking towards the past about it.
Well, we can learn from the past of where we're going in the future.
Mm-hmm. Growth. Whatever it is will bring you growth. Whatever it is will bring you growth. And it's coming in fast. It's big and it's coming in fast. Like some kind of action or idea or plan. So you want to watch out for that. It might be the best action or plan that ever happened.
I got a couple of those floating around in the old noggin. So
Put
yeah,
it into
that's a
action.
good.
That's what that means. Put one of those ideas into action because it's going to be good. It'll lead you to lots of growth and enlightenment.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting card there. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. You're very welcome. I love to read the cards.
I don't know my card yet. Well, folks, thank you all for being here. Do you have something to say, Sue?
No.
I think
Hypnosis. If anybody wants any hypnosis, go to awakeninghearts.com. That's my business. I'm a hypnotherapist. Can help you make a positive change.
Where do I have you at? Oh, dang it. I took that one down because we were going to change it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say, Nikki, thank you for, I know it was very late notice. Brett,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
talking to you, and nice meeting you, Susie.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
And hey, let's just keep on Sasquatch.
Hey, I think we're doing an interview on Saturday.
Who?
This Saturday, Thomas.
You're interviewing who on Saturday?
Oh no, I'm interviewing with you, Buckwell's crew. Surprise!
What? Hang on, let me check the hours here. Let's hear.
I am?
Oh, you mean the Bookwash crew?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
yes, at 1:30.
Yep.
1:30.
Carmen, what the hell are you talking about?
that was really
Yes, 1:30. I got it written down. Yeah, that's right. Remember, the time changes that day.
Oh.
Yeah, we go to daylight saving times that early that morning. So remember your clock.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I know. I'm getting all confused. Oh, Brent, don't leave so fast because I need to tell you something behind the scenes.
Okay, cool.
So very good, everybody. Thank you again for coming and joining us in this late night. It was great. We had a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of stuff. So you guys, I will see you again soon. Good night.
Yep.